This video starts off a series in celebration of Necrom, where we return to Vardenfell, dive into the Talvani homeland and the depths of Apocrypha. The secrets of old Hermaeus Mora are at risk, and with that, the very fabric of reality. We begin our audio adventure with some mentions of old Hermaeus Mora in written lore. Apocrypha, Apocrypha. The infinite archives of Hermaeus Mora are the ultimate treasure. Its innumerable shelves and countless books carry the weight of all knowledge. Therein, the diligent reader can find all that was, all that is, and all that will be. Followers of the divines, content in their dark cloisters of ignorance, Daedra they call him, monstrous, wicked. We have seen the truth. Knowledge is only as wicked as the one who wields it. Forsaking learning in fear of its misuse is the ultimate sin. It is an unforgivable folly. As a result, mortals have suffered countless centuries of loss. In Apocrypha, the Golden Eye weeps cold tears at this plague of ignorance. Those who walk his halls are truly blessed. Even as their flesh falls away, they are permitted to browse the infinite tomes and scrolls, privy to all mysteries that have ever and will ever exist. It is the most blessed of fates. We give you praise, Hermaeus Mora. We seek enlightenment, illumination, and a place at your side. Biznenzel, Our Ancient Roots, by Scholasticus Incognitus. Hermaeus Mora, Padawada, Oya Nagaya, Aba Agaya, Kaba Apokra, Denagoria, Gandra Arkan. As everyone in our society knows, the roots of our order are ancient and deep. For are we not the primeval seekers? Having spent a season researching ancient manuscripts on Balthiera Island and in the Daggerfall Mages Guild, I can finally provide some details about our hallowed halls of meeting. Put some meat on the bones, as it were. I can now reveal that the original name of our private Ayleid sanctum beneath Halkin Lake was Biznenzel, which meant New Water Halls in the tongue of the Wild Elves. It was built by a clan of Ayleids who fled the anti-elven pogroms in Cyrodiil during the early First Era, after the slave uprising of the so-called Saint Alessia. The clan that built Biznenzel came from the heartland city of Nenalata, which, like most Ayleid habitations, was built partly above and partly beneath the surface of the land. This plan was copied in miniature when the refugee elves built Biznenzel, though now only the subterranean halls survive intact. The ruler of this elven clan was named Lorebook Dinar, though he is far better known by the sobriquet Last King of the Ayleids. He was a notable tactician and general, and you have almost certainly heard of him in connection with the great High Rock victory of the Battle of Glenormria Moors, in which the invading Alessian horde was broken and turned back to Cyrodiil. Possibly the most fascinating fact turned up in my researches, at least for us of the primeval seekers, is that the use of this site for the worship of Hermaeus Mora actually began many thousands of years ago, when it was still occupied by the Ayleids. The leader of this effort was a wild elf scholar, known as High Priest Eluscant, who established a congregation in Biznenzel that attracted many of the learned and most influential people in the community. As their numbers became more numerous, on their behalf Eluscant quite reasonably requested more of a say in municipal affairs, a request that was unfairly denied by King Dinar. The ruler had no interest in sharing power with a non-military order of scholars, whom he foolishly thought he could insult with impunity. Well, this Dinar soon learned that the servants of Hermaeus Mora are not so easily shunted aside. Within a few months of his arrogant rebuff, this last king of the Ayleids was deposed. He and his family fled to Balthiera, where he begged refuge of the Doreni, whom he served for the rest of his days as a sort of trained war dog. As history teaches us, the primeval seekers always win out in time. It's as the ancient Analects say, if knowledge is power, then forbidden knowledge is ultimate power. For the desire to know is beyond reckoning, and in recompense, whatever price is named shall be met. E Hermaeus Mora, Altadun Pad Hom, Bakan AI. Hermaeus Mora, the woodland man, malicious trickster spirit, whose Bosmeri cultists say is not to be confused with the Daedra Hermaeus Mora. Others deride this assertion. Another excerpt from another Rise of Faith, this time Nords. Hermaeus Mora, again the woodland man. ancient Edmoran demon of knowledge who nearly seduced the Nords into becoming Aldmer. Most Ysgramor myths are about escaping the wilds of old Hermaeus Mora. Unlike his Bosmerian adherents, the Nords don't deny his Daedric nature. Fragmente abyssum Hermaeus Morus. So Ysgramor collected the laments of the giant wives, and brought them to Froa and Grosta, who twisted them into the woeful bowstring, so that Ysgramor could restring his mighty bow Long Launcher. And thereafter did Long Launcher sigh when it was born, and moan when it was shot, and Ysgramor decided to take it hunting. And he hunted and slew much game in the Edmoran Frostwood, until he paused at a ford to drink his fill. Then across the stream bounded the white stag of Fulgrim, and Ysgramor shot at it and missed, which in no wise pleased him. And he swore to pursue the white stag until it fell to him. But the stag was canny and quiet, and passed as a mist over the snow, so that Ysgramor did again and again sight it and lose it. For even the sighing of the woeful bowstring made more sound than did the white stag. When again he lost the trail and stopped, sore vexed, and Hare did appear and spake, saying, "The stag hieth down into yon vale." "How knoweth you this?" demanded Ysgramor of the hare, which replied, "I know, for I have long ears. Yea, had you ears as long as mine, you too could hear your prey wherever it went." "Would then," said Ysgramor, "that my ears were as long as thine." At that the hare's nose did twitch, and Ysgramor felt his ears begin to grow and point. But a fox did leap from the coppice and fall upon the hare, slaying it, and Ysgramor, in wonder, felt his ears dwindle to their wonted size. And the fox spake, saying, "Now though, mortal, that I am sure, and this was nary hare, but indeed Hermaeus Mora, who did nearly trick thee into becoming of elven kind. Rely you hereafter, mortal, upon the forthright methods of man, and eschew the tricks of the elves, lest ye become one. Now go, for the white stag awaiteth thee in the vale." Hermaeus Mora, Parawada, Oya Nagaya, Abba Agaya, Kava Apokra, Denagoria, Gandra Arkan. Hermaeus Mora, elder than Ada, abyssal Cephilarch, hearken to the plea of this unworthy, for I come to barter for the knowledge denied. That which I seek is named on this parchment, which I consume in your honor. O demon of knowledge, for my desire to know is beyond reckoning, and in recompense, whatever price is named shall be met. A Hermaeus Mora. A Hermaeus Mora, Altadun, Parom Lacan, AI. My next dream was of Apocrypha, where I walked the halls of shadow among the nameless books. Among the concepts and arguments I inhaled like smoke. In my left hand was a scroll of vellum, in my right hand a plume. And I wrote histories past, yet the scroll was unfilled, for as I wrote words beneath, the words above vanished. Then I paused at a plinth of lapis, for it contained an object heretofore unremarked, an urn with a curious finial. So I set aside the scroll and plume, grasped the finial, and lifted the lid. Within the urn was a viscous and noisome fluid upon which floated, grey and glistening, a mortal's organ of thought. And I knew, though I know not how, that the fluid was not brine, and the brain was not preserved, but alive, alert, and brooding with a dark intellect. I dropped the lid and looked up from the urn, and saw beyond the plinth a long and endless corridor lined left and right with plinths uncountable, and upon each plinth its urn, which was why, when I awoke, my tongue was bitten through. I hope you enjoyed a few tales and mentions of the Prince of Knowledge. If you'd like to continue following this journey into the lore books of the Elder Scrolls as well as other fantasy realms, please leave a like and consider subscribing. Should you have a request of a series or a certain fantasy topic, feel free to let me know in the comments.